how to model and design buildings halfway the model using BIM software. If you're doing design manually, most of the engineers would go for the most critical design and then just use it for the rest of the building. But when you're modeling using software such as ETAB, it is always better to understand if you should model a building halfway the model, and how do you determine symmetry and determine how you're going to model a building halfway the model, and how you're going to design a building halfway the model, and how you're going to finally present your drawing. So first of all, you need to understand what is symmetry. Symmetry is, for example, this rectangle here, it has symmetry. That is, if you draw a center line from this midpoint here, you will see two similar parts. Also, a circle has symmetry because if you draw a center from through the center of this circle, a line straight, you'll find there are two similar parts. The same way in architectural plan, you may realize that there is symmetry. And if there is symmetry, it is always advisable you model halfway the model. Why? Why should you model halfway the model? First of all is speed. Remember, these projects have deadlines, and sometimes the deadlines are so sharp, so to make your work easier and to be able to meet the deadline and work faster, you should model halfway the model and design halfway the model. Then you can you can use same design on the similar part to mirror it. The second is for greater accuracy. I can assure you from my experience, every time you do a building design halfway the model, you have more accuracy because you have a smaller area to cover and you have a smaller portion to model. So even in Prota or ETABS, you have a smaller section to model, so you'll be having more accurate results. So those are the two advantages of modeling halfway. So the second part I want to cover is how do you model halfway. For example, here I have this architectural plan, and if you check this carefully, for example, this first floor plan, you will realize, yes, you can have symmetry. You can have two similar parts in this architectural plan, and that part I think is you can see this as I'm going through you can see my cursor. As I'm going, you can see the way I'm going through that shape. You can see that shape, the way I'm going. Now, if you check down here, you'll have a exact similar shape to that. So it doesn't necessarily mean that you have to model up to this, because you can see the column here. So you cannot model a beam like this beam halfway because there's no column here. But you have to determine up to where you're going to model. So for example, in that portion, you can see I have another exact similar portion that way. So I can model halfway. So to model halfway, I just need to model this part, which is similar to the other part at the top, and this now part here. So I'll model like that. Then when I'm doing design, that is drawing, for example, I'm doing the slab beam layout. I just need to do this part and this portion, and then I will copy this part using the mirror line here. I will mirror to the top, so that I'll work like 2 times faster instead of detailing this portion, then coming to detail this top portion. And as you can see, for example, in this foundation layout, you can see this column here in our staircase is similar. Column 4 is similar to this. It's column 4, base 5. column 4, base 5. This is similar to this. So this we just did and then mirrored the design to the top part. What I'm trying to say, if you check this PDF, avoid doing this. Avoid modeling. If there is symmetry, avoid modeling like this. You should model like this. You will work faster and have more accurate results. I have another example of an architectural plan. If you can see this plan here, yes, you can see you have two similar portions. If you draw a center line here, you will have this part is symmetrical to this part. However, when you're modeling, you cannot model like this up to this part because you can see we don't have a column here, and this is the staircase, and therefore a staircase you cannot model a staircase half of the staircase. So what I will need to do is to model this part here, that part. I mean, let me start from, like, for example, from here, I'll go like that, like that, like that, as going through the cursor. I'll model that portion, and I'll model also this portion of the staircase. Now, when I come to the only portion I will avoid to model, for example, if I can delete the part that I will not model, is this part. This part I will not model. Okay. This part I will not model. This is the part that I'm not going to model. So what I will do is, let me delete what I will not model so that you understand what I'm talking about when I'm saying about symmetry. So this, I will need only to model this part and this portion here, and then I will mirror the design of this part to the other part. Now remember, when I mirror the design, I'm also going to mirror the design of this beam here, these columns here. So it's everything, including these beams. So these beams is like, they do not, you will include them in your model, of course, but when you're for the design, you not use the design for this beam, but rather for this beam and this column similarly. So that's how you model halfway the model. You check if there is any two symmetrical parts, then you have to also be rational, because if you model, for example, if I don't model, I model up to here, you can see obviously there is no way I can model a two-way staircase, half of it. There's also no column here, so there's no way I can model like that. Same way to here. As you can see, how we have done here, halfway the model. So it's this portion and the other portion is similar, and then of course mirror the design to the other portion. So if you can see the foundation layout here, this column is similar to this. This column is column 1 base 1, column 1 base 1, column 1 base 1, column 1 base 1, column 1A base 1A, column 1A base 1A, proving that this was also done using that principle of symmetry. Therefore, because there is two symmetrical parts, you just need to design one part and then mirror the design. So that's how you do what you call designing and modeling halfway the model. So and that will be the end of this video. If you like the video, please do consider to subscribe to my YouTube channel. We'll see you in my next video.